This is the Bi-Audio Skeptic here. I'm your host, Nishoba, with my lovely husband.
Michael Ringtail here.
So today we're looking at a wonderful article by Charisma Magazine, Empowering Beliefs for Life in the Spirit. Now, if you haven't noticed, Charisma Magazine sounds kind of like a catch-all for all faiths. It's really just a fundamentalist Christian site. So let's take a stab at this. Can a Christian be gay? Part 1. This is going to be part 1 of 3 series based on each of these articles that we're going to read to you today. So we're going to read each article or read each part until we can't take the stupid any longer.
You ready for this trilogy?
Yeah. Are you ready? Here we go. Part 1. Departing a restaurant where we celebrated my wife's birthday recently, I got 10 p.m. call on my cell phone. The lady in Kentucky needed help because her bank teller friend, who identifies as a Christian, was confused about homosexuality. Her unmarried female friend read a book called Torn, Rescuing the Gospel from Gays versus Christian Debate by Justin Lee. Sorry, Justin. A 36-year-old founder of the Gay Christian Network that helps educate the Christian community about sexual issues from a biblical standpoint. Having feelings at times for members of the same sex, the woman's friend who was being influenced by his theories and asking, is it okay to be gay Christian? To be a gay Christian? What about same-sex marriage? Lee encourages his followers to embrace counsel from the New Testament, Romans 14, and not quarrel over disputable matters, and choose one of two paths. A. God allows permanent monogamous gay relationships, and side B, gay Christians remain celibate.
Oh, God.
So we're going to stop it right there real quick, just to give you some background. Justin Lee, I'm so sorry I butchered your name there, is an amazing guy. Now, both me and Andy here are, both of us, very staunch atheists. When I say staunch atheist, I'm very much Christopher Hitchens. Andy's more like, kind of like Stephen Fry.
Stephen Fry?
Yeah. Well, you love making jokes about it. I'm more serious, you know?
Well, yeah, but, without laughter, you're dead.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with Hitchens, though. I mean, I wouldn't know what I would do without faith because I'd have nothing to make fun of, but either way, that's besides the point. So, Justin Lee has kind of started the Gay Christian Network, and it's really, really awesome because it really reaches out to people who struggle with their religious afflictions. I'm kidding. I had to say it. But no, he helps people who are gay try to accept themselves if they're also Christian. And it's good because that's one of the hardest hurdles to get over is if you're gay and you don't want to leave your faith. And I understand that faith can be a huge part of people's lives. We're just not those people. But that's kind of the background of Justin Lee. He's a great guy. He's done a great amount of work. He's helped a lot of people and possibly prevented a lot of suicides. Hero in my book.
It's the first time I ever heard about him, so I have nothing to say about him, really.
Oh, Andy, we need to get you brushed up on that.
I need to be educated.
So,
Shall I continue on with this paragraph here?
well, let's just talk about side A and B real quick.
Oh, yes. Side A, God allows permanent monogamous gay relationships, or side B, gay Christians remain celibate and boring and... I can't...
Boring wouldn't be the term. It would more likely be It would most likely be...
self-destructive.
Probably.
I want to have sex with you, but we can't because God is watching. He's always watching us.
Or Catholic priest.
Oh, yeah, that's probably the answer. We both become priests.
Yeah. So, side A, I'm just going to say this right now. If there was a God, which there isn't, side A allows permanent monogamous gay relationships. Great. But the thing is who fucking cares? It's not his call. Okay, and even if it was his call, I'll just take the, Chinese idea, or not Chinese idea, I'm sorry, the Japanese idea is we all first go to hell first, whatever, I don't know. I need to brush up on my Shinto. But anyways, it shouldn't fucking matter. So let's move on to the next paragraph. Andy, you take it away.
Yes, what follows is my way of helping someone like this lady, in a day where even the President of the United States, from whom I pray daily, seems to be either naive or misinformed as a professing Christian on this critical topic. Yes, it's so critical compared to everything else that's going on in the fucking world. I hope to offer help in the national conversation. I approach the subject not as an angry, mean-spirited extremist, but rather in a spirit of... Oh, yeah, I know. The irony is just starting to pour out here.
Sorry.
But rather in a spirit of humility, as a would-be friend of both supporters and opponents. As a Christian who was formerly a rock star drummer in a band called the Lost Souls, and I was lost.
Satan doesn't just manifest his power through a Hitler or a Manson. He can use your favorite guitarist, a pretty pop singer, maybe even you.
So already, he's coming off as one of these guys that probably did a lot of heinous shit, and now he's feeling bad about himself, and he's afraid he might have to take responsibility for his fucking actions.
No, I'm gonna actually argue against that. I think he was one of those people who was in a rock band, and he was still very Christian, and he really never did change much, but then he realized, rock is the devil, shit, and I'm beating drums, and this is bad, and he just kind of became more conservative over time. I mean, I'm going to assume that this guy is probably in his late 30s, early 40s. He's definitely not in his 50s, because he hasn't hit Glenn Beck / Rush Limbaugh levels, but I'm sure he's getting there. Just wait.
We'll find out. I'll probably find a picture of him later. I admit the church has unfortunately fallen far short in our testimony, due to divorce, hypocrisy, and uncharitable attitudes in our ranks. Yet, I want to be part of the generation arising that is not so much imposing, but proposing a better way that really does lead to peace, freedom, and long-term happiness in human relationships. And unless you're gay, of course, then you have to remain celibate and not butt-fuck each other. Well, actually, in this guy's case, you can't remain gay at all.
Let's cut there real quick and just talk about that point. A world of peace, okay? So, you know what? Let's Christian cat this shit. Illuminati! One world government, a world of peace. He's talking one world government. Oh, shit. No,
I think he is part of the Illuminati. This is probably a ploy.
Yeah,
make us convinced that he is Christian and he's really a new Illuminati.
So, just to let those users know who are really serious listening to this, we're not Illuminati. But then again, the Illuminati would say that, wouldn't they?
Don't let the vigilant Christian hear about this.
Oh, shit. But no, the whole thing is that, okay, it's a world of peace. For whom? Okay, the people who say this exact same line of bullshit with these kind of ideals, which are exclusionary, let me think. Oh, yes, that's right. Fundamentalist Muslims in the Middle East. They believe in peace, in this world of peace, and no.
You just have to convert to the religion.
Yeah, you have to convert
or face the sword.
Or face the sword, yeah. It's just... Oh my god. So we haven't even started actually going on these articles yet and looking at the fallacies, but right now, as Andy said earlier, the irony is just starting to really pour out. I mean, look at... he's not angry, mean-spirited extremist. That's the first thing. Let's talk about that real quick.
Right. He's one of those ho-hum, gee-whiz, gee-willikers kind of Christians right now.
Yeah, and what was it? Any form of bigotry, any form of intolerance is intolerance. Any form of it, and even the slightest way, should be called out. It shouldn't just be brushed under the fucking rug. I mean, it's right there.
He's already making it worse here. I've engaged and befriended gays and regularly attended their gay pride events for over a decade in different states. I've also made black friends, Chinese friends. I'm not racist. I'm not homophobic. I have gay friends.
I was just wondering, is he one of those people standing there with the signs, gays go to hell? I'm just wondering if he is one of those people with the signs.
He's attended their gay pride events. I'm sure in a civil manner, not in a Westboro Baptist Church kind of way.
Oh, so kind of like the day of what's it called? Not the day of reckoning. The anti-day of silence. The day of truth, where they hand out cards saying, you're going to go to fucking hell.
Basically.
Kind of like that, probably.
In a nice way, of course.
Yeah.
I've stood at the bedside of my buddy John, my good old buddy John, who changed from gay to straight, just like fucking magic. But he later died of AIDS, and requested I do his funeral, which I did, with his daughter and over 50 of his past gay friends present.
Ooh, so let's dive into this motherfucker for a second.
One more sentence. We're on a journey of discovery and exploration and experimentation. And I hope this following counsel helps multitudes who are being asked similar questions as me.
So, let's just talk about this real quick. He's have a friend who is gay, or who has a daughter, by the way. So I'm guessing she was straight, and then got converted to gay, and then after he caught HIV, and then didn't find out he had it until he had AIDS, he literally was like, "Oh Jesus, I need saving," and went back. Maybe I can't speak for this guy, but I've seen this happen before. It's pretty pathetically sad.
Yeah, the gay lifestyle is pretty enticing. You know, they entice you with all their benefits, like the ridicule you get from your family and ridicule you get from your peers and society in general and your politicians and everything. Yeah, it's very, very welcoming.
Yeah,
I don't see why doesn't everyone become gay?
And here's the thing: is we both read this article multiple times before we decided to do this little podcast here, and and it's weird because now we're reading it out loud, and it's harder to not cringe at everything he says.
Let's continue on. Let's see if he convinces us, because we got halfway through, and let's go down there to. Let's see. Let's not be.
Let's
not be non-specific, but straightforward. You take it away, Neshoba.
Okay. The entire Bible, unambiguously, thank you, defines marriage between one man and one woman. Genesis 2:24 in the Old Testament, Matt 9:15. Okay, I'm just going to point this out, is that the Christians cite the Bible as if it's like a scientific journal. It's not, so stop citing it because you're not doing anything. So let's just go through here. Genesis, Old Testament, Matthew, Old Testament, Gospels, new, and they're like, oh, there's a New Testament passage there. Outside that state, obedient Christians are called to sexual purity / celibacy. And, of course, he quotes more stuff. Ephesians,
it's
Corinthians.
infallible. Yeah. Word of God. Can't speak against it.
And
it just is.
Yeah. Let me continue here, though. Paul says, "For the time will come when people will not put up with sound doctrine. Instead, to suit their own desires, they will gather around them a great number of teachers to say what their itching ears want to hear. They will turn their ears away from the truth and turn aside the myths." 2 Timothy's 4, whatever. Anyways, so we're gonna stop. We're gonna stop there real quick. So we're gonna, they're gonna turn aside. They're gonna turn aside the myths. Yes, we are gonna turn aside the myths of Christianity and Judaism and Islam and any other
superstition.
Yeah, pretty much superstition and
especially when a tragic event happens, like a terrorist strikes a building or two. That usually drives people up to go to church.
Well, I mean, Jesus. Now I'm forgetting. What do we call mythology? Turn away mythologies. I mean, people literally, that's what's going to happen in 200-300 years, hopefully happen, is that we're going to look at the Abrahamic faiths as the mythologies of Zeus and Dionysus and Anubis and every other god of every mythology out there. So, Amaterasu, we can go on for probably like a good half an hour listing off all the deities people once believed in. And some still do.
Commandments that are coming up here, these 6 little points.
Yeah, so here's the 6 points that are coming up. Ready? Dr. Timothy Keller, world-renowned author and pastor, had to respond to similar inquiries at Oxford University. He lovingly and succinctly helped students with sound counsel from Scripture. He told them, bullet point 1, as Christians we're called to love, not to stain our neighbor, atheist, gay, or agnostic. I really like how we're all lumped together.
I thought it says antagonist.
Oh, he does say antagonist. I thought he said agnostic. I'm sorry. Antagonist. Atheist, gay, or antagonist. So I guess we do have to be equated with something negative. Okay. As Christians, we're called to love, not to stain our neighbors. This is just love the sinner, hate the sin approach, which homosexuality isn't a sin because it is what a person is, not who they are. Well, it can be who they are to some people, but it's what they are. It's an intrinsic part of their character. It cannot be changed. This has been scientifically proven ad fucking nauseum. In fact, Andy's like going because he's heard it so many times. I mean, it has been proven ad nauseum. So that point goes right out the window. If you call yourself gay and Christians disagree with you, that doesn't mean you're being judged unfairly.
Yeah, I'll know number 2, because what is it supposed to mean to me if I'm not being judged unfairly? If it's not a judgment that someone disagrees with my existence and, my right to marry, then what the fuck is it then? Is it just their opinion and it's my opinion and we should respect each other's opinions and then, live and let live, except that, I can't live as, according to you.
Yeah.
As basically, I'm just supposed to shut up. That's just how it is. You don't get trouble if you don't make trouble.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I actually, that point actually makes me cringe so much because here's the thing: if you call yourself gay and Christians disagree with you, that doesn't mean you're being judged. Okay, if a Christian says they disagree with who you are, the physical makeup of what you are, okay, I should say not who, but what you are, that is a judgment. I'm sorry, but that's a fucking judgment. And when Christians say they don't judge, they automatically start judging. The thing is we as human beings judge. That's how we decide things. It's what we do. Everything we do is judging. Psychology shows this. We judge every little thing. Should I go with blacker coffee or light, or should I go darker coffee or medium coffee? More cream, less cream, no cream. These are all judgments. Okay, they're decision making. We decision make on everything. When a Christian says they're not judging you, actually, in a scientific standpoint, they are judging you. They're judging you in a different way. When they're calling you, when they're disagreeing with who you are as a person, your existence, that is a pretty fucking big judgment. I'm sorry, but it is. So let's look at number 3.
You already iterated this. The Bible clearly teaches that homosexuality is not God's way or design for his creation. Herpaderp Bible verses.
Yeah, and
move on.
Well, actually, let's talk about this. Okay, the Presbyterian Church just came out in full favor of gay marriage and full gay inclusion. Okay, full gay inclusion. The Presbyterian Church has like 1 billion or so followers. They're fucking huge, okay? And that's not including the Episcopalian Church or the Metropolitan Community Church or all the other churches out there who say gays are God's design. They're just another flavor out there, and we should accept them for who they are, fully and unconditionally. I mean, what about their opinion? Their opinion, I mean, they're Christian too, right? Oh, wait, that's right, Andy. They're not Christian because in these people's minds, only they are the true Christian.
Of course.
Oh, my God.
You can't be a Christian and an alcoholic or a pedophile. And you can't be gay either, because gay is a destructive lifestyle that will lead you down to the path of hell.
Yeah, honestly, if heaven's full of these morons, I definitely prefer hell.
Yeah.
Don't let your sexuality destroy your objectivity. What the fuck does that even mean? Okay, what the fuck does that even mean?
That's what I asked.
I mean,
you said you couldn't.
I can tell you what it means. Okay, it's basically, it says that it becomes who you are. It basically takes over your life.
Like an addiction.
Yes, that's how they're viewing it. In this whole article, this whole person in this entire writing, spoiler alert, he views gayness, he views homosexuality as a addiction, and he compares it to alcohol and all the other things we've heard a million times before.
Once I tasted cock, I couldn't get enough of it.
Once you taste cock, everything rocks. I don't
sometimes
know.
I get the shakes, I just need a penis in me.
Hey, well, let's do a slogan though. Once you taste cock, everything rocks. I don't know. Fuck it. Anyway, but it's just so... Oh my God, it's so stupid because...
We should sell that idea, cock rocks.
Yeah, I mean,
candy.
Our sexuality does not in any way truly define us. It defines some of the experiences we have, which are pretty fucking bad, but it doesn't define us, and that's sad we have to say that, but it doesn't define who we are. Andy's an artist and a cinematographer. I'm a psychology person and a computer tech / engineer. So, I mean, these things kind of, that's who we are. That's what defines us. We just happen to be gay. I'm sorry, but, we'll put a big flag out there if we're making millions of dollars and say, hey, we're gay, kids who are worried about fitting in, look, here's us, and this is the steps to do to get ahead. And the first step is to stick your middle finger in the air and go, fuck you all. Literally, right? Would you say that?
Fuck yeah. Once you get to the attitude of you can say fuck everybody, you're already 10 steps up the ladder there. Number 5.
Admittedly, some church people have attraction to the same sex, but do not allow themselves to be governed by those feelings, temptations. Their identity to Christ is central, not their sexual identity. This shift is what frees them to both change and to live changed.
So, basically, just ignore how you feel because it doesn't fit with God's design. Like, oh shit, I feel attraction to another man, but that's not in God's design, so I'm just going to ignore that. I'm going to ignore that feeling and be like how I'm supposed to be, even though I'm going to be struggling with it the rest of my life, but I'll probably lead myself down a path of misery and self-doubt. But hey, I'll be happy in the end because I know I follow Jesus.
Yeah, and I cringe at that so much because it's basically saying deny what you are, and that's so unhealthy. In psychology, people who, and of course, the counter argument to that is like, well, should murderers embrace who they are and go out and kill people? That's a separate argument, though. And I've heard that argument used as a rebuttal a lot, and it's not a rebuttal because it's a completely separate argument. Murder hurts people. Rape hurts people. Torture hurts people. Sociopathic things hurt people. Murder, rape, all those things. They hurt people, okay? Consensual relationships between members of the same sex, with or without intercourse, doesn't fucking hurt anyone, not even them. Sorry. And if someone wants to bring the whole spiritual flag and says it spiritually hurts them, fucking prove it. Because I've known gay couples who've been together longer than fucking Rush Limbaugh's been together with his 4 or 5 wives. Spreading
disease and AIDS, as what was this? Pat Robertson, the AIDS rings.
I'm just gonna point this out, okay? That I don't know, for some odd reason, I've never magically contracted HIV just by us having sex together, ever.
Face it, Lou. I'm famous now. I'm bigger than you are, so shut up. Let me fuck who I want to, and who I want to fuck is mustached Keanu. Then I'll give you a little wedding present. Some AIDS.
I don't know, maybe we just got lucky, but I don't think it fucking works that way.
And
Diseases don't spread that way.
God designed us for human intimacy, companionship, touch, and sexual expression in the right place in the right time. It's like, yeah, God built us to fuck, but he's going to tell us when and where we can do it, even though we're going to have that desire. It's like God's fucking with us. But people can choose to fulfill normal desires in an unrighteous way. It's basically just God's fucking with us. He gives us all these desires. It's like, okay, God hates gay people, puts the G-spot in men's ass. Go figure, right?
Yeah.
Trouble anyone here? The idea that God might be fucking with our heads? I have trouble sleeping with that knowledge.
So, okay, let's continue on. Not long ago, Sex and the City starlet Cynthia Nixon caused a firestorm when interviewed in a New York magazine, saying she did the heterosexual thing for a while, but then chose to be gay.
Oh, there's your proof. It's a choice. She said it's a choice, and some celebrity said it was a choice. Therefore, it's scientific evidence right there. Scientific proof. It's science.
Well, this goes back to number 6, where at the end it says key. It's a choice. Okay, well, every single scientific journal out there that studies sexual orientation and human behavior has shown and said and basically laid to rest it's not a fucking choice. Anyway,
next one.
So yeah, he uses the whole thing, and well, you're bi. I'm gay. He's bi.
Wait, after this paragraph, I'll get into that too.
So okay, well, I mean. But still, well,
I'll get into that. Rosaria Butterfield.
Rosaria Butterfield, author of The Secret Thoughts of an Unlikely Convert, describes how she was a leftist lesbian professor who despised Christians and then somehow became one. And now she's married to a pastor raising her children in North Carolina.
And there's always the thing that comes up to me whenever I see that sort of thing happen is that maybe she's bisexual. But of course, Christians will never acknowledge bisexuality as a real thing. So, that's how they explain it away. It's like bisexuality doesn't exist. It's just your temptations to be gay. And you're struggling with them. That's all it is. It's either X or Y. That's all you have as far as your sexuality. There's no such thing as a bisexual person in these people's eyes.
And it's really, it does a huge injustice to any animal species, including ourselves. I said animal species, and we're
not animals. What do you mean? We're designed in God's image.
Yeah, no, we're animals. But anyways, it does a huge injustice to all animal species to say shit like that, because that's what it is. It's shit. It's rubbish. It's complete utter diatribe. Anyway,
dribble.
Yes,
it's fucking dribble.
It's fucking dribble. The reality is that most animals are bisexual. That includes us. We're not some special little snowflake where we somehow are magically mostly straight. Most of us are bisexual. In fact, okay, you put a wall up, you put a hole in it, and you put an orifice on the other side. A guy's gonna fuck it, and he's not gonna care what it is. Okay, seriously, we're primates. We fuck a lot. That's what our species does, because we're weak and pathetic, and we need to multiply like primates. But still, that is what we are. It's built into our DNA, and to say that most of us are straight, I think is a pretty big injustice. I would say more people are bisexual than anything else.
Yeah.
And to discount it is just huge disservice.
Next one here. Understanding the Bible correctly. Because, so many people get it wrong. That's why we have all these fucking denominations. Today, there's a lot of misunderstanding regarding Scripture because some gay-affirming leaders in churches take a salad bar approach, conveniently selecting passages that support positions while neglecting other more challenging ones. Oh, you mean like the passage that says women shouldn't speak in fucking church? Or, selling your daughter into slavery? They kind of glance over that one too, don't they?
Actually, I think of a better one, because those are usually brought up a lot. How about this? Slaves, you shall obey your masters of fear and trembling as unto Christ. That is in the New Testament, ladies and gentlemen. That is literally written to slaves, that they must obey their masters with fear and trembling as unto Christ. There's other passages about you shall not, what was it, you cannot kill your slave, otherwise you have to pay like gold or something.
10 shillings or some bullshit like that.
Yeah, whatever. And it's so weird. And there's it's literally like a defined, book on slavery, like how to have slaves and whatever. It's fucking ridiculous if you actually read through those chapters and how just gruesomely horrible that it is.
Oh yeah, he gets into that too. Some people are dishonest with scriptures, intentionally or unintentionally. Where in the Bible does it even mention cocaine or pornography? I haven't seen gay marriage in the Bible once. This actually came from one of our chairmen of our own political parties. Fuck you. Who cares? Others cherry pick verses to defend conduct without taking into consideration the context or the whole of what Scripture teaches on a topic. A text out of context is a pretext. The fact is, a good book doesn't categorically say, don't judge, don't dance, don't drink, don't enjoy sex, or dozens of other so-called prohibitions many earnestly believe. Neither does it tell us in every situation to turn the cheek, hand over our cloak, give and expect no return, or scores of other recommendations that need to be clearly explained in their context.
Stop. Wait. First he's telling us that we need to believe the Bible almost inerrantly, and then he's basically saying people are cherry picking, and then he says except these passages that he's going to bring up. You're a fucking walking conundrum.
Well, he's saying that we're supposed to follow these, but there's always exceptions to them that we have to follow too.
Oh, the exceptions, like we no longer beat our slaves because we don't own any, and that slavery is wrong. That used to be really, really fucking ingrained in our culture. Slavery was the thing, and it was backed up by all the churches, or segregation after that, or anti-miscegenation.
What are you talking about on this, Shelby? You're just trying to discredit the Bible by mocking its content and citing Old Testament passages. Like here, that seem outdated or severe in application. What you don't understand is this. There are basically 3 types of laws prominent in the Old Testament. Hebrew Bible is 1, ceremonial, hygienic, and moral. Of course. It's all making it so clear.
We'll get into the moral part in a little bit. We're almost.
He explains it right here.
Okay,
the first
two, ceremonial and hygienic, don't apply anymore for those who are part of the new covenant since the time of Christ. Otherwise, there will be no more football. Handling a pigskin was a no-no, or over 40 crowd couldn't approach the altar of God over 40 crowd couldn't approach the altar of God with a disability or during that time of the month. Wait, you mean I can go get a Wendy's cheeseburger with bacon, have some Red Lobster jumbo shrimp, or enjoy a honey-baked ham? Absolutely! Yet, the moral laws do still apply. Not for or as a means to redemption, but to show us our need to be redeemed.
Well, okay. Whose authority are you declaring this? Whose authority are you saying this? How did you figure this shit out? Did God speak to you? Did God jump inside your little brain and tell you these things?
Well, the kosher codes, that's what he's referring to. They things and
But why? Why do they no longer apply? Why does the pigskin no longer apply? Why does the Red Lobster thing no longer apply?
Because the New Testament does say they no longer apply.
Oh.
The New Testament does say literally that they no longer apply. But the thing is that also in the moral codes too, there is a few passages that also say the moral codes don't apply either, and it's kind of a bunch of a jumble of it's a clusterfuck.
Why did they apply in the fucking first place?
But here's the thing, though. Moral codes. Let's just talk about morality for a second, okay? Morality. What is morality? Morality is telling a gay child of the age where he feels like he should come out or he has come out, telling him that you no longer love him as your family because he's chosen this horrible life of sin and debauchery, and he's got to now live on his own in the streets, sell himself for sex so he has some food and clothing and a warm place to sleep, and possibly die of a sexually transmitted disease given to him because he's got to pimp himself out, or of dying of starvation or cold, like fucking hundreds and thousands of gay kids on the streets die every single day because of these types of parents. And this is moral. This is perfectly fucking moral to literally pretty much abandon your child and murder. This is fucking murder. I'm sorry.
What people don't understand, too, is half the time is that morals are a societal thing. They apply to wherever you happen to be born. In Middle East right now, it's moral to have your head covered. If you're a female, it's moral to stone that person if their veil is too translucent. Yeah. It's the moral thing to do. Morals are a fucking construct. The only thing that ever really matters is ethics. You know, does this harm a person? Does this benefit us? Is it neutral? Does it have no effect one way or the other?
120-degree heat, wearing a completely black shroud and robes over yourself? Yes, that's harmful. Fuck that shit.
If I choose to hit myself in the face with a fucking rock, that's not affecting anyone else until I start throwing that rock at someone else.
One could still say it's unethical, though, because
it's unethical to let me do it, basically. But
yeah. It's oh my god. Okay, but
and they try to make morals override this sort of thing. If that was part of my religion, they'd be like, you're violating his religion.
Yep. But then here's where he stops. He says, it really is time to gain a better understanding of the Bible, not primarily as a harsh legalistic code of DOS.
Of do's and don'ts.
Of do's and don'ts, I'm sorry, of
I
DOS.
wish it was DOS.
See, there's a computer part of me. Of DOS and Windows. A code of DOS and don'ts, of do's and don'ts, but rather as a guidebook of timeless wisdom. It also provides us with a coherent framework for outlining society's problems, then prescribes answers to remedy them. Oh shit, let's get into that after this last paragraph.
Bible cures everything.
We will follow a secular or scriptural worldview. I suggest we embrace our Creator's way for His creation. For best results, follow instructions in the manufacturer's handbook.
The Bible.
So, okay, let me go first here. It really is time to gain a better understanding of the Bible, not primarily as a harsh legalistic code of do's and don'ts, but rather a guidebook of timeless wisdom. Wisdom? Like how to fucking stone your wives and sell your daughters into slavery.
Just the 10 Commandments. The 10 Commandments by themselves. In Texas, they are declaring Moses as a founding father.
What?
Yes. They're declaring Moses as a founding father because his laws influenced the laws of our nation. So he's technically a founding father in that sense. That's what they're trying to teach kids in Texas right now.
Oh my god.
And what are the first three laws of the 10 Commandments? I'm your God, thou shalt have no gods before me. And what was that? Number 3. What? Keep the Sabbath day holy?
Yeah.
What store is closed other than Christian stores on Sunday? Other than the Christian bookstore?
Yeah, I know. And here's another thing too that gets me is it also provides us with a coherent framework for outlining society's problems. Okay, every time religion has said or has pointed to a societal problem, every single time they fucking gotten it wrong. First they said people with dark skin were bad and therefore should be Mark of Cain, so they should be slaves. They got that motherfucker wrong. They said women are way less than men and shouldn't have any power whatsoever. They were way wrong on that.
They also said that, there was races and God separated the races. That was the whole fucking Tower of Babel. Even though, thanks to science and discoveries, there really is no such thing as a race other than the human race, and that's it.
Yeah.
And they use that argument to keep biracial couples from marrying. They used
they used the argument of the God created separate races.
Every social issue they get wrong. Every social issue since Christianity started 2,000 years ago.
It's less than that, actually.
Yeah.
It's really not 2,000 years ago.
Well, I don't know, Constantine, Rome, whatever. Whenever it started taking its foothold.
Yeah. And the reason why I say it's not that old is because the Christianity we know today is not that old. It's not 2,000 years old. At best, I'd say it's around maybe 1,600 years old.
Hell of a lot different, too. I mean, shit. If you go back far enough, drums were considered an evil instrument. You couldn't have drums in the church. You couldn't have guitars in the church. It was considered evil.
Well, that's not that far back. That was
Yeah, that's like 30 years ago, or 40 years ago now.
40, 50 years ago. Yeah, that's not a long, long time. And I mean...
In internet years it is. It's
yeah.
like 5,000 internet years.
But yeah, here's the things they've gotten wrong. They've gotten slavery wrong. They've gotten segregation wrong. They got miscegenation wrong. They've gotten women's rights completely fucking wrong.
They gotten child rape laws wrong.
They got child rape laws wrong. They got child abuse really fucking wrong because, I was just talking about earlier, kicking your kid on the street is akin to murder. Yes, it is, because they're gay. That's severe child abuse. Spare the rod,
spoil the child, as they used to say. Spare the rod, spoil the child.
Well...
I mean, there's still Christians that make videos and books on how to beat your child properly to make sure that they're aligned with God.
They got everything wrong, and now they're set their targets on gay people because they lost the race against anti-miscegenation and segregation, and now we're seeing bills prop up in a number of states, mostly Bible Belt states, where literally they're gay segregation laws. Fucking look it up. It's ridiculous, and they're passing. They're fucking passing.
We got one. What? Arkansas?
Arkansas, I think, is one of them. Mississippi is one of them. Kansas is trying. I don't know if they've succeeded yet. But basically, these bills would allow businesses, any business, to refuse service to gay people.
Why can't you just let them have their opinions? Why can't you just let them have their opinions and run their business? Why you gotta enforce your views upon other people?
Because when you're serving the public, you have to serve everyone in the public. You don't have a fucking right as a business owner to turn around and say, I don't want to serve these people because God tells me so. I'm sorry, if you're in the public sphere, you have to deal with the public. Gay people, transgender people, bisexual people, they're part of the fucking public. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. They are a part of the public. If you don't fucking like it, then get the fuck out of doing business.
And if I believed in the rabbit god, would that give me the same entitlement as Christians have when it comes to denying people fucking business? Whenever it comes to that, would that give me the same entitlement? No, of course not. If I was a Muslim, it wouldn't give me the same kind of entitlement. If I wanted to deny Christians from my business as a Muslim, there's no way in hell that would ever pass. There would be a shitstorm upon my door.
Yeah.
It never would happen.
If you don't get shot.
Yeah, if I don't get shot first. Yeah, from some fucking redneck.
And here's the thing. Will we follow a secular or spiritual worldview? I'm sorry, but I'm going to pick a secular because a spiritual worldview happens...
Scriptural worldview, yeah.
Yeah.
Either way,
I'm sorry,
scriptural. Same thing.
Well, yeah, scriptural worldview. Let's look at scriptural worldview. The Middle East. There's a scriptural worldview.
Yeah, why don't you move there if you want to see a scriptural worldview? And if you're going to be so up in arms about homosexuality and making laws to bar homosexuals from their rights, then you need to start making some laws regarding divorce, making that illegal, or making it harder to get divorced.
Yeah, Jesus had a lot more passages about divorce than he did about gay people, and divorce was far more unforgivable than anything else. And then the final sentence is the real fucking kick in the pants. For best results, follow instructions in the manufacturer's handbook.
Wink, wink.
I guess that's like a catchy little jingle for best results, follow instructions in the manufacturer's handbook.
It's the good book. Take a look. It's the B-I-B-L-E Bible book.
First of all, God did not come down and scribble in the fucking pages and create the Bible. Second of all, it was written by man not too very long ago.
Inspired by God. They were inspired by God.
They were inspired by fucking hallucinogenics and insanity, okay?
No, God came down, spoke right into their ear, and whispered words of joy and wisdom that they wrote down in their book. Their book that is so easy to understand and clear in its passages that if we just fucking read it, if you all read it, we'd all understand God's plan for us, and we live in a happy-go-lucky paradise where everyone's straight, everyone's normal. We're a Leave It to Beaver society.
And anyone who's not
End of story.
Anyone who's not dies in a concentration camp. But no, it's just like
conversion camp. We label them conversion camps. We put the non-believers and the and the heathens in there, and they get fixed.
Or die.
Well, yeah, we don't want anyone to die.
Yeah, it's just so stupid. Now, part 2 and part 3 is where all the logical fallacies start rolling out. So stay tuned. Those are coming up very, very soon.
I'm Michael Ringtail. Good night.
And I'm Nishoba. Have a good night, and thank you for listening to the Bi Audio Skeptic.